Hey, my Momafey family. Welcome back to Understanding Cycles in Your Life by Momafey-HT. Come on in. Your journey has brought you home. Take a seat. These next few minutes are just for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the world is moving too fast? That's not just life being busy. That's a sign that your generational global season has just shifted. Before I begin, I am your host, Mama Faye, and my mission is to help you recognize the cycles in your life so you can understand season cycles and how it impacts your life. How to lean into God's timing for growth, rest, and renewal. This podcast is built from my book, Understanding Cycles, Times and Seasons in Your Journey. It is meant to help you master life rhythms, unlock God's timing for your growth, rest, and renewal. The book was written by me, Faith V. Randolph. You can find the book in paperback at Barnes & Noble, online store, or head over to Substack at Understanding Cycles in Your Life by Mama Faye, where I share excerpts from the book and give you additional insights and free tools just for you. Last week we talked about seasons and cycles in friendships and relationships. How some friendships are meant to last a lifetime while others only fit certain chapters of our growth. We have talked about pruning what no longer feeds us, cherishing what still feels like it does, and recognizing that every relationship has its rhythm. I even created a friendship checklist and a just because saying you can send to your true friends in your life. It's free for my paid subscribers. This particular just because is for all of the friends in your life who you feel that they have been a true friend, and those sayings come from the heart. It's just like when you go to the store and buy a card for a friend. Well, I've put together a group of sayings that you can send in a text message, in a note, or in an email, or whichever way that you want to send a special note to your friend. Now, this week, we're zooming out a bit. We're going to talk about today chapter 9, which is dealing with generation and global seasons. A generation is a group of people who are born and grew up around the same time and share similar life experiences. People in the same generation usually experience the same major world moments like new inventions, wars, fashion, music, or social changes during their growing up years. Those shared experiences shape what they value, how they communicate, and what they expect from life. For example, your grandparents' generation may remember when television first appeared. Your parents might remember the first computer or cell phones. You might remember growing up with the internet or social media. Each of those moments affect how that group sees opportunity, how you raise your family, your work life, and your successes. So when we talk about these generations, we are really talking about the waves of time and culture that shape how people live, how we think, how we move through the world together. Understanding that helps us to see why we sometimes think different from those that are older. And definitely, I am coming to the realization myself that we see things different from those that are younger than us, and how we can learn from each other. So think about it. Those born between 1920 and 1939 grew up on the first wave of mass technology. Guess what? It was the radio. They had early cars, and they had actually had sound put to their movies. The world felt brand new to them. Progress was tangible. This was one single invention that changed how people saw their place in the world. They could experience events together. They could go and get to places faster, and they could go farther. Then came the war and space era of the 1940s to the late 1970s. Radars gave the country a way to protect themselves in weather forecasting, air traffic control, and even the sensors that help planes land safely. It taught that generation to trust machines to see for them and made travel and safety feel more possible than ever. That generation also experienced televisions, which made it possible to see the news, world events, and entertainment in real time. Suddenly, living rooms became small theaters where families shared laughter, news, and stories at the same time as millions of others. It created the first real sense of national and global culture. People could witness world events together instead of just hearing about them. Then there were the early computers came about actually in this time, but they were huge machines used by military and scientists. They filled whole rooms, but they were had less power than your telephone do today. But they changed the world by showing people that information could be processed faster and more accurately than by hand. Businesses actually started using them for data, for banks for records, and government for communication. This was really called the quiet start of the digital age and the beginning of life with screens and codes and systems that could soon move into every home and pocket. Then by 1980 to 1990, that brought the personal computers, the cell phones, the beginning of what we call the internet age. This is the first time control moved from massive corporations to person sitting behind a screen at home. It really created a sense of personal power. This is where we got that personal power from. And with it, a new kind of exhaustion too, because now people could get in touch with us. No longer did we had to go back to the office and talk to people 9 to 5 to do business, but your business followed you all the way home all night long with emails and text messages, and you were now accessible 24/7. And here we are now from 2000 to where we are today. Our world is connected in ways our grandparents never could see and have imagined. AI, smart devices, tele everything. We can order a meal, attend a meeting, and launch a business without even leaving our couch, and without even changing our clothes. But that same connection can feel like overload. Everyone's talking, scrolling, comparing, and trying to keep up. But here's the thing. Every generation experiences change, but not every generation learn how to adapt with grace. That's the word for this week, is change. Change can feel like loss when we are not ready for it, or like freedom when we finally do embrace it. It's the art of knowing when to pivot, when to stand still, and when to surrender the need to control what's shifting around you. The truth? You can't stop evolution and innovation from happening, but you can learn how to move with them. You can choose awareness over anxiety, and you can choose preparation over panic. You can plant seeds even when the world seems uncertain, trusting that the next harvest belongs to those who adapt and prepare early. Now, here are 3 real life ways to recognize and move through generational shifts. First, track the changes you are living in. Start noticing, pay attention. What's actually shifting around me? Look at how your job uses new tools, how your kids or coworkers are communicating, or even how stores and services are now automated online. Write down what changed over the last 5 years in your own daily life, and from how you bank, how you shop, or how you schedule your appointments. Seeing the pattern in black and white helps you to realize this isn't just changing. This is your generation moving into a new cycle and a new season. Then you want to prepare by reskilling and by relearning. Every generation shifts require a skill update. Identify one that's becoming standard in your field or your home life and learn about it now. Hint, AI. That means taking a free online course in digital tools, learning how to manage telehealth platforms, or understanding how AI is being used in your profession and in your community and how it is affecting your own personal life. The goal isn't to chase every trend. It really is to stay relevant and ready so you're not caught off guard when the change shows up at your door. Then strive by building multi-generational bridges. Each generation sees the world differently, and understanding those views is part of thriving. Talk to someone 10 or 20 years younger than you and those who are older than you about how they see the world, how they work and rest. If you're a mom or a grandparent, that might mean asking your teen how they use technology, and hint, you might need to ask them how to show you how to use it. I've been there. If you're a manager, it's listening to a younger coworker approach to balance. Learning from other generations keep you flexible, open-minded, and connected to where the world is headed and also where it has been. Now today, let's close with a moment of grounding for the shifts we are about to face. A short prayer for those of us who are learning to walk through change with courage and peace. God, help us to change what we can for the good, our habits, our way of thinking, our responses. Give us the humility to accept what we cannot shift and the discernment to know the difference. Teach us to move with your timing, not against it. When everything around us feels uncertain, anchor us in wisdom, purpose, and quiet faith that comes from above. Let change not break us, but build us into who we were always meant to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, before I wrap up, if today's message spoke to you, don't miss what's next. Subscribe to my Understanding Cycles by Momafey-HT on Substack.com to get more insights and resources about how these life and generational cycles play out. When you subscribe, you get notification when I'm live in the chat, where we've all unpack each one of these lessons together, and I will answer any questions that you have in real time. And you can also, that chat will be open, so anytime that you ask questions or leave comments, I will answer in real time. And if you're a paid subscriber, I want to personally thank you. You'll always get extra insights, discounts, and free downloads as my way of saying thanks for supporting this work. Now, don't forget to also subscribe to the weekly refresh newsletter. It's my way of my my midweek dose of clarity and motivation to help you align with your purpose. I go in greater details on each subject each week. So if you want the notes that I do these podcasts by, I present those notes in that weekly refresh newsletter. And don't forget to follow me on social media at Momafey-HT and visit momafeyhometraining.com. I have free tools, journals, and resources designed to help you thrive in every season in your life. Now, next week, we're going even deeper. We'll still be in chapter 10, but this time we're going to be talking about generations and global seasons, looking ahead at what's coming next. We'll talk about the world our children and grandchildren are inheriting, how AI, automation, and new realities are reshaping the way we live, work, and believe. Until then, keep growing in grace, and I'll see you next time.